The building of a mosque at 9/11 there in New York City, very close to where the Twin Towers were destroyed. Is it a sign of America's great tolerance, or is it another sign? Well, when you look at history, we see something, that when Muhammad conquered Mecca in the year 630 AD, he turned their most prominent spot, the Kaaba, into a mosque. When Muslims conquered Jerusalem, the most prominent spot for the Jews was the Temple Mount, and that is exactly where they built a mosque in 691. And then when the Muslims conquered Spain, in Cordoba, Spain, was St. Vincent's Church, a great Christian church. The Muslims turned it into a mosque. And then when the Muslims conquered Syria, they turned the Church of St. John the Baptist into a mosque. And then when the Muslims conquered Constantinople, they turned the great Hagia Sophia, this largest church in Christendom for 1,000 years. It was built during Roman times under Justinian, 160 feet high, a dome and 102 foot across, and 4 acres of gold mosaics. The Muslims covered them with whitewash and put Quran verses on it and turned it into a mosque. And when the Muslims conquered Athens, the most prominent spot was the Acropolis, a hill, and on top was the Parthenon, old Greek temple that the Muslims turned into, you guessed it, a mosque. And so wherever they conquered, the most prominent spot was turned into a mosque. And so that is why some people are concerned that when they attacked New York City, the building of a mosque is maybe not a sign of tolerance, it might be a sign of conquest. And when one understands that there's freedom for all religions in America, but Islam's not just a religion. It's a political system and a military system. Why? Well, because Muhammad was not just a religious leader, he was a political and a military leader. Muhammad fought in 66 battles and raids. And so those that want to imitate Muhammad, they imitate him religiously, politically, and militarily. And so we see that it is a system that encompasses all three: religious, political, and military, and it's impossible to split them. Tell me what group, what authority in Islam has the power to tell all Muslims worldwide that they're no longer going to imitate the political and military chapters in Muhammad's life. They're just going to imitate the religious chapter. Well, there is no such authority. And so the fundamental Muslims think they are the true followers of Muhammad. His life is called the Sunnah, the way, the example. Sort of as Christians have WWJD, what would Jesus do? As Christians, we want to imitate Jesus. Well, Muhammad's life is the way, the example, the Sunnah. And so the faithful followers imitate him religiously, politically, and militarily.